the Human Resources Assistant for Dandy Mini Mart, and she's going to be talking to us today as our virtual Meet the Employer with Dandy Mini Mart. You can go right ahead.
Great. So before I get started, I just wanted to thank CSS, Workforce New York for giving me the opportunity to share more about, Dandy Mini Marts. And I personally love working for Dandy, so I'm very excited to share more about our company. And just a little background about my position here at Dandy. So I am the primary recruiter for our department. So one of my main responsibilities is to fill any available positions at stores, and I also evaluate any applications that come in. And I also conduct orientation sessions with new hires. So that's kind of a fun way to bring it full circle, seeing the applications and then, working with the new hires once they join. So for the presentation today, I'm going to share a little bit about our company, Dandy Mini Marts. I'm going to share some things that employees love about our company and things that actually attracted me to the company when I was a job seeker. And I'm going to share available positions, and we're going to kind of dig deep into, soft and hard skills that are needed for those. So Dandy Mini Marts is a family-owned convenience store chain, and we have 65 locations throughout northern Pennsylvania and southern New York. And we are one of the largest employers in the Twin Tiers region. And we are full-line convenience stores with excellent food service offerings, and some locations are open 24 hours. And I can confirm, the food offerings are excellent. I've eaten quite a few different Dandy foods. Some of my favorites are the breakfast pizza. It's a traditional pizza with kind of like a garlic kind of sauce, and it has eggs and bacon and sausage, cheese. So there's some really fun different foods, and we're always offering new foods and drinks to customers. So definitely a fun thing to kind of try out and see all the different offerings. And one nice thing, some locations are open 24 hours, and that's very nice for our applicants who are already working, a full-time job maybe during the day, and they're looking to pick up extra hours, when they're not working, or parents who are looking for, different childcare options. I've had people request to work in the evenings because their spouse works during the day. So that is a nice offering at some of our locations. And one thing that kind of sets Dandy apart, we do offer compressed natural gas, or CNG, at several locations. And compressed natural gas, it's just an alternative fuel source. CNG does burn more cleanly than gasoline or diesel fuel, so it can be an eco-friendly alternative to gasoline. And I would say, Dandy Mini Marts, the company, definitely values innovation. And I think Dandy's commitment to bringing CNG to the Twin Tiers is just one example of that innovation. So now we're going to talk a little bit about some things that our employees love about Dandy. And the first thing is fundraising for local communities. So this is actually something that really attracted me to Dandy when I was, looking for, an HR position. And so I'm going to talk about two of our annual, fundraising campaigns, but we do offer, different fundraising throughout the year. We usually have, annual sports kind of competitions or tournaments and do fundraising through that. I'm going to share two of our regular fundraising opportunities. So the first is Dandy Pink Cups. And so this is a campaign that takes place every October. So it coincides with Breast Cancer Awareness Month. So throughout the month of October, Dandy donates a percentage of the sale of each 20-ounce coffee sold in a pink cup for breast cancer care and support organizations. And we've raised $81,000 over the last 8 years for different foundations like the Guthrie Breast Care Foundation. So it's definitely something that I was very excited about. Is called Dandy Canes. So it's a play on candy canes. And so this is a community fundraising campaign. So each store can actually pick their own charity or a foundation that they're raising money for. So that can make it really meaningful for each individual store. For individuals who've been impacted by something like breast cancer, they could select that to raise money for. So to date, customers and communities where Dandy serves have raised nearly $500,000 in support of dozens of charities. And many of the charities that we raise money for are local. So another thing that our employees really appreciate are benefits. This isn't maybe the most glamorous topic, but benefits is definitely something that employees really care about, and it really does matter. So I'm going to cover some of our main policies. So part-time and full-time employees are eligible to receive vision benefits, and part-time and full-time employees are eligible to receive dental benefits. And not all part-time positions do offer those vision and dental benefits, so that is definitely a nice perk for our part-time employees. And full-time employees are also eligible to receive medical benefits. And we offer paid time off, or PTO, for part-time and full-time employees. Part-time employees begin accruing that PTO after 3 years. So it's kind of a thank you for kind of longer term service with the company. And part-time and full-time employees are eligible to participate in our 401k savings plan. And unfortunately, you do have to be at least 21 to participate in that. That is the rule by the IRS. But we do also offer a contribution match. So that can be really nice. It's essentially just getting free money for your retirement savings with that contribution match. So one thing that I see often, evaluating applications and talking to candidates, is that they're not just looking for a job, they're looking for a career. So one thing that I really like about Dandy is that there are, really clear opportunities for advancement. I've seen that with a lot of our, internal candidates. There are opportunities to kind of climb the ladder, so to speak. So the clerk positions are kind of like the entry-level position at Dandy. Depending on the size of the store, we might have anywhere from like 4 to over 20 clerks at each store, and the clerks will be the individuals running the cash register, maybe restocking shelves. And so, like I mentioned, this is an entry-level position, so we don't require experience for those clerk positions, and it could be like a nice foot in the door kind of position. So if you're looking for increased responsibility, you're looking to maybe take on more at work, the next opportunity would be to be made a shift leader. So as shift leader, you're kind of the person in charge that other people go to. If there's not any management present at the store, you're the kind of person who's in charge, and you are providing guidance to the other clerks who are working with you as you're on your team. So our deli coordinator, assistant manager, and store manager positions are all considered management level. So in the hierarchy, the deli coordinator is kind of like the next step up from shift leader. So the deli coordinator is primarily responsible for that deli area. As I mentioned, we do participate in a lot of food service, making pizzas, making subs. So the deli coordinator is responsible for a lot of our food service kind of operations. And they also do provide leadership and things like scheduling shifts. The assistant manager is kind of like the next step up if you're looking to rise in the ranks. An assistant manager pretty much takes on all of the tasks that the store manager does. They're kind of that second in charge. They could assist with ordering, if any issues arise with staff, conducting interviews, helping with orientation at their stores, variety of tasks that the assistant manager might perform. And the store manager is kind of the top level person at the store, and they're responsible for pretty much all of the functions that are going on. So all of the staff, all of the food service happenings, the different revenue coming in, managing the store, all kind of aspects. So some examples of individuals who currently work for us who have advanced or taken advantage of these opportunities. Kelly, she's at our Beaver Dams, New York location, 75. So she initially joined our company as a clerk, and then she was promoted to deli coordinator, assistant manager, and she is currently our store manager at that Beaver Dams location. And Brittany at D5, so that's in North Towanda, Pennsylvania. She initially started out as a clerk, and then she kind of rose through the ranks as a shift leader, and she's currently a deli coordinator. And one thing that I do want to add, there are, additional positions that aren't even listed. So, if you are, like a store manager level, there's still opportunities to advance. There's actually a position called district manager, and these individuals manage a group of stores, anywhere from like 6 to 13 stores. And we actually just hired a store manager to be our, one of our new district managers. So there are, additional opportunities, even if you reach that top level within your store. So now I'm going to dig into our available positions. So we're going to go through some of the job descriptions, the soft skills and hard skills that we're looking for. And I'm going to go over openings at specific locations. So the first position that we'll talk about are clerk cashiers. So our clerks are responsible for handling the cash register. So you might be, checking out with customers who are purchasing different products, and you may perform other tasks and duties as assigned. So this position does require some flexibility. Your store manager might ask you to, do something one day and then do another task the other day. So different things each day. And we do look for knowledge of laws and policies for, tobacco and alcohol and sales. So if you do have experience with sales, that's great. We do provide training on tobacco and alcohol sales as well during orientation and using like our online training system. So even if you have basic knowledge, we do, give you more knowledge of the laws once you join the organization. And we're looking for, clerks and cashiers who have great interpersonal skills. As you can imagine, you're working with customers. So we are looking for someone who can provide that exceptional customer service. And you are working with others. A lot of times you'll have, other clerks, or you'll have, someone from management there. So we're also looking for a team player who can get along with the other coworkers. Okay, so we're going to go through some essential duties and responsibilities. So as I mentioned, we are looking for that exceptional customer service. So you would be, greeting customers, helping them find, different products, answering questions, all in a fast-paced environment. So we are looking for someone who can keep up with that fast pace. You'll be following and implementing, store policies and procedures. We're looking for someone who is certain to ID for tobacco and alcohol products. You might be, stocking and maintaining tobacco shelves or, other products in the store. Maintaining cleanliness is very important. Also, keeping that coffee area clean, assisting with preparation of foods like pizza, and then providing, service to customer if they, make an order, answering the store phone within the first couple of rings, maintaining cleanliness and appearance of the store, performing lot inspections, such as, monitoring for ice, clean off any debris from the premises. We definitely value safety and keeping the area safe for customers and employees. You're responsible for changing the gas prices when assigned. And then if you're working that closing shift, you would be accountable for the till count at the end of the shift. And then, as I mentioned, we do look for someone who's kind of flexible, and you may need to perform other duties as required, just depending on, the particular day. So for education and training, high school diploma or GED is recommended but not required. And as I mentioned, this is an entry-level position, so we don't require any experience, but previous retail experience is a plus. And we are looking for someone who has strong communication skills and someone who's comfortable working in a high volume environment. Stores can be very busy, and we're looking for someone who can keep up with that fast pace. And you may be required to work holidays, weekends, overtime, or hours that are outside of that normal work schedule. And that's because, the stores are open, on holidays or, sometimes in the evenings. For the 24-hour stores, they might even be open, at like 3 in the morning. So depending on the store that you're at, you might be required to work those outside normal work hours. And you're also expected to maintain professional appearance and conduct with customers because you are representing Dandy as an employee. And there are some physical demands. So employees would be expected to stand for extended periods of time. Depending on the task that you're doing, you might be bending, reaching, or walking. And you might need to lift 10 to 20 pounds frequently, especially if you're someone who is stocking, and up to 50 pounds of weight on occasion. So we have open clerk cashier positions at several locations. So Chemung, New York, Big Flats, New York, Elmira, Wellsburg, Van Cayuta, Freesport, Burdett, Hector, Horseheads. We have a second Elmira location that's hiring. And so these are all of the locations and addresses for stores that are hiring for clerk cashier positions. But if you don't see your local, Dandy location listed, I still encourage you to, go into the store or, talk to the store manager because the roster can change. Sometimes, we have like a college student who might be going back to school, or someone might move and relocate. So even if we're not currently hiring, a position could still open up. So even if your store isn't listed on this list, I still encourage you to inquire and see if anything's available. So now we're going to talk about our deli coordinator positions. So deli coordinators are responsible for completing, customer food orders and maintaining that deli area. And they would complete food safety checks and abide by, state and food regulations. So making sure that all the food is safe. And, you'd maintain product preparation, quality, cleanliness, and inventory control standards. So as I mentioned, deli coordinators are responsible for, that deli operation and, keeping the deli area clean. We're going to be compliant with state regulations, so maintaining those food service standards. You might be restocking deli products, maintaining that coffee island, and making sure, that's good quality coffee. Maintaining cleanliness of the equipment that you're using, as well as, the kitchen and dining areas. Inspecting the equipment to make sure that it's in proper working order. Following and implementing food policies and procedures. And some of our locations do have, Subways or Domino's in store. So if there is a Subway in store, you would be expected to, understand and abide by those Subway food policies and procedures as well. You might assist in ordering, control, and inventory of products. You would be monitoring and recording daily temperatures and times of products, recording any products that are disposed of on a waste log, and then maintaining cleanliness of all fryers, which could include replacing the fryer oil. And so there's also an important kind of leadership and operations piece with this deli coordinator position, because as I mentioned, this is a management kind of level role. So you'd be expected to demonstrate good leadership and have good interpersonal skills and kind of motivate your staff. You'd want to strive to achieve, gross profit goals and costs. You'd be creating schedules for the deli staff. You'd analyze financial statements, review income and costs relative to those goals. You might need to take, corrective actions. You'd be responsible for training staff, which could be, exciting if you like teaching. We're looking for, employees who can lead by example and, kind of set the tone for improvement and, bringing that customer satisfaction. And then we're also looking for someone who can take initiative on tasks and, work without supervision. And we're also, if you're someone who identifies being very creative, our food service supervisor is also looking for, food service ideas. So you do have an opportunity to communicate those new ideas to our food service director. So our deli coordinators are required to have a high school diploma or GED. And 6 months of food service or food management experience is preferred but not required. And we do look for food service equipment knowledge, so something like a deli slicer. So you must be ServSafe certified or obtain that certificate with a passing score within 90 days of hire. If there is a Subway in store, you're also required to acquire the Subway University Food Safety Certificate within 90 days of hire. And then as with our clerk positions, you might be required to work, holidays, weekends, overtime, or hours outside of that normal work schedule. There are also similar physical demands. So you might be standing for extended periods, and you might also be lifting, 10 to 20 pounds often, and then, 50 pounds occasionally. We currently have one deli coordinator position open, and that's at our Wellsburg, New York locations, Dandy 26. But, as I mentioned, different positions may open up. So if you feel like you might be a good fit for this position, definitely keep your eye out because deli coordinator positions could open up. Now we're going to talk about our assistant manager positions. And this is the last position that we're going to go through today during the presentation. So our assistant managers are providing support to our store managers in pretty much all aspects of the store's operation. They would be a positive role model and like a team leader for the staff. They're going to work closely with the store manager to make sure everyone receives, good training. They're going to be familiar with pretty much all of the duties that being a store manager entails, and you might be, asked to perform those duties. You're going to be communicating and working closely with the store manager on things like store operations, staff performance, scheduling staff members, and any issues that may arise. And if the store manager is out for any period of time, the assistant manager will kind of step in and fill that role. So if someone, for example, if someone goes on vacation, they might be running the store for a week or two. So in terms of education and training, we do look for high school graduates or an equivalent like GED. And we also look for proficiency in Microsoft Office and Outlook, as well as internet applications. So our assistant managers do need to be familiar with computer programs. They will need to, use scheduling software. So we do look for that kind of computer proficiency, and also good verbal, interpersonal, and written communication skills, because you are communicating with your store manager and you're also communicating with the staff as well. We look for 2 years experience in the retail industry, and we also look for, a demonstrated ability to, serve as a supervisor or a manager over staff. And just like the clerk positions and the deli coordinator positions, there are some physical demands. So you might need to stand or walk around for extended periods of time. There might be frequent bending or reaching depending on the task that you're doing. And then often lifting of 10 to 20 pounds and occasional lifting of 50 pounds. We have 2 open assistant manager positions, one at our Van Etten location and one at our Burdett, New York location. So there are 2 ways that you can apply if you're interested. So the first one is to just go to the store and ask for an application. We have paper applications available at every store, so you can fill those out and then hand it to whoever's in charge at the store, and they'll actually just fax that straight into HR. So you can apply in person at the store if that's your preference, or you can apply on our website. We also have online job postings. So you go to www.godandy.com, and this is the screen that you would see once you go to that URL. So you'll notice this career tab in that top left-hand corner. So once you click on that careers button, it'll take you to a portal that has all of our open positions. So you would click on whichever location you're interested in, and then you would fill in contact information, work history, and experience, things like that. And then HR would receive that application as soon as you submit it. So if you are interested and you feel that you would be a good fit in terms of your skills and experience, I encourage you to apply to join our team.
Great. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. I have a question.
Great.
I'm getting feedback. Do you have consistent scheduling, or does it rotate?
So the scheduling tends to be consistent, but it can also vary depending on the season. So someone might be, full-time status during the summertime because they're, normally a college student. And then, during like the fall and winter months, they might go back to part-time. So I would say most employees do have that standard shift they work and standard hours. So they might work in the morning, afternoon, or evening, but it can vary. So if someone wants to drop down from, full-time to part-time, or move up from part-time to full-time, that also happens.
Mm-hmm. How much lead time do they get for their schedule?
The store managers make their schedules 2 weeks in advance.
Carrie, do you have any questions?
I don't know. I think it was pretty informative, and I liked it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much, Lauren. It was very informative, and I appreciate the PowerPoint too that we've recorded through this, because that'll make it much easier for our job seekers as well.
Okay, great.
Well, thank you so much, and we will be posting this to our YouTube channel and creating a link. Okay?
Okay, great. Thanks so much again.
Thank you. You have a great day.
You too. Take care.